Somebody probably told you once that you need 20% to buy a home. Well, I'm here to tell you they were wrong. Somebody might have also said that it's better to wait for rates to drop to buy a home. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons why they might also be wrong. I'm Joe Gibbs with the Colorado Home Source team at RE/MAX Alliance. I've been doing this for 13 years, and today I'm going to talk about the 5 biggest myths in home buying. And number 1 is probably costing people the most, so stick around. The first myth I'm going to bust is that you need 20% down payment to buy a home. This myth keeps more buyers from entering the buyer pool than almost anything else, and it couldn't be further from the truth. We have conventional loans that go down to as low as 3%. FHA loans go down to as low as 3.5%. VA loans can do 0% if you've served and you qualify. And then Colorado even has the CHAFA program, which can give you money to make that home purchase achievable for you. Now, yes, this does mean that you're going to have a higher mortgage amount, and it does mean that you're going to have private mortgage insurance. Let's be honest, nothing is free. But just because you don't have 20% down saved doesn't mean that you don't have to buy a house. The second myth is that you need perfect credit to buy a home. People often think that you need that 780 credit score and perfect history. Well, that's just not true. Plenty of buyers close with scores in the 600s. And here's the part that nobody tells you. A good lender can oftentimes show you how to move the score 20, 30, 40 points in just a matter of months. Pay down one card, fix an error in your credit history, and suddenly you might qualify for a better rate. The people who assume they couldn't qualify for a loan and never ask, never find out if they could have. The ones who ask, half the time they're pleasantly surprised. Asking is free. The third myth is waiting for rates to drop. Now, I've talked about this in so many of my past videos, and that's because this one sounds smart. I totally empathize with waiting for rates to drop and getting a better deal. However, it comes with trade-offs that not a lot of people have thought about. Here's the problem. You're oftentimes not the only one waiting for rates to drop. There's a huge crowd of buyers sitting on the sidelines who are ready to go as soon as the rates drop. And what does it mean if there's more buyers looking for the same number of homes? It means demand goes up while supply stays the same or continues to go down. Meaning you're going to have more competition to beat out if you wait for rates to drop. Buying in a higher rate environment means that you're not competing with as many buyers. It means you might be able to negotiate more with sellers. It means that if you find the right house for you and the numbers make sense, you could get a deal that nobody else can get if they waited for rates to drop. I'm not saying that it's the right time for everybody to go out and buy a house right now. What I am saying is waiting for the rates to drop is not a strategy. Oftentimes it has hidden costs that a lot of people don't think about. The fourth myth that I hear quite often is that spring is the only time to buy or sell a house. And this just couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, we've put homes under contract on Thanksgiving Day, had closings on New Year's Eve. You name it, we've been there, and we've made deals happen any time of the year. Let's talk about some different times that might make sense for you. For buyers, fall and winter mean less competition and more negotiating room. The sellers who list in November are serious. Nobody is putting their house on the market just for fun right before Thanksgiving or Christmas. And for sellers, yes, spring does mean more buyers, but it also means that you might have every other listing go on the market in your neighborhood or on your street at the same time. A well-priced and presented home in January can stand alone and shine. Some of the best deals that we've ever done for our sellers end in months that end in burr. And finally, this gets to the last myth. The online valuation tool that has the latest and greatest AI will tell you what your house is worth, and that's what it's worth. This is the number one myth that is costing people the most amount of money on both sides of the deal. An online estimate or an algorithm who's just guessing based on the facts in the public record. But it has never walked your house. It doesn't know that you remodeled your kitchen, or sometimes that you finished your basement. It doesn't know that the house next door sold for a low price because it had a big inspection item come up, like a foundation issue. It also might know the difference between this side of the street or the other side of the street. If one side of the street backs to the freeway, it may not even recognize that. We frequently see online estimates miss by over 6 figures here in Boulder and the Front Range. You might be asking yourself, why does it matter? Well, here's how it can hurt you. Sellers will believe the number, they'll anchor to it, they'll list at a higher price, they'll sit on the market because that's the price they thought they should go on, and then they end up selling for less than they should have in the first place. The same thing can happen with buyers. Maybe the estimate on the home is a lot lower than the current list price. Buyers will anchor to it. They'll stick to their number when they send their offer in super low because that's what the algorithm told them to do. And then they end up not getting the home that they like. They continue to look for another house, and maybe the other house isn't as good of a deal as the one that they were thinking of originally. In both cases, the algorithm might have been saying something different, but in both cases, the buyer and seller lost. Your home's value comes from actual real comparables with real-world analysis. An agent needs to walk through your home. They need to listen to you about what updates you've been doing to it, and they need to carefully look at the comparables to make sure that there are no outliers, to make sure that all the comparables make the most amount of sense. That's how you get a real number for your home. That's the whole secret. Those are 5 myths that we see in our industry all the time. If you are thinking of buying or selling, or just have questions about the market, give us a call. We're happy to help.